Hello folks, how's life? Unfortunately, while I was recording this, I found out that I muted my PlayStation 4 microphone the whole time that I was recording this, and there's 59 minutes of footage here, so it's really inconvenient. Obviously, the whole thing wasn't going to be included, I was going to edit it down, but, yeah, it was really inconvenient, and now I have to record a voiceover of this on my phone, which is not the best. I also found a glitch with my armor, which is that every time I take damage, my armor comes off, which is really inconvenient. However, I managed to fix it. So you'll see that in the last video I made, my armor, I turned off the death waypoint setting on the Essentials add-on. That is what was causing the problem, which is really inconvenient. But it's okay, I managed to fix it, and I removed the Gravestone add-on, since I don't need two things that do the same. Anyway, please observe what I'm about to show you as proof that this was really inconvenient to record with. Anyway, whilst all of this was happening, I realised I was homeless, and that's not good. But I can't just steal one of the villagers' houses, because that's theft and bad content. Think of it. No one would subscribe if I just stole a villager's house. It's absolutely pathetic. Like, imagine stealing someone else's house. Just get a house of your own. So that's what I did. And I decided to build it on a lake, and yeah, it definitely was not painful at all, especially with all the drowns that tried to kill me. The next step to building a house is to gather materials to do it with, because you can't just build a house with nothing, because then it's not really a house, it's still being homeless. So I turned to the only available wood, cherry wood, which looks absolutely horrible. You'll see what I mean when you see the finished product of my house. The logs don't look that bad, but the rest of it does. However, there's also not really any wood that goes with it, so, it's sort of a loss all around. But that's okay, because it's good if you want to make something that looks like an old grandma's house. I did not want to make something that looks like an old grandma's house, so instead it just looks like a really odd building on the river. Yeah, but you don't get to see the finished product until the end, because otherwise everyone would just leave the video now, and we can't have that happening, can we? We have to have some sort of suspense. I then went to gather materials for the house, but with the tree breaker thing, it turns out axes break almost instantly, because it uses the durability of if you had mined every single log available. So, I managed to kill an iron golem and use the iron to make an iron axe, but it broke within 4 uses, so it was very much worth it. After that small mishap, I decided to start building the actual house, which I was going to live in, because I didn't want to stay homeless. And my plans for the house was to make it like a a dock for boats, except to be living in. So I did that, and then I ran out of materials because my axe broke and I couldn't be bothered to make a new one. So then I went looking for a different type of tree and found another village instead, except that new village was absolutely horrendous. It had nothing good in it. And then when I decided to maybe take back some wood to use in my house, the wood would have looked horrible with it, so I just gave up and decided to never return to that village again. Spoiler alert, I might return to that village again in the future. I have no idea if I'm going to return to that village again in the future. Anyway, then I got back to my base and decided to move the telelantern, which is basically a teleportation device with extra steps, to outside my base, so I didn't have to walk all the way there. It was like an entire 100 blocks or so. It really wasn't a far walk. It was less than 100 blocks. But anyway, then I continued getting on with my house, and at one point it just looked like an outline full of cherry logs for like half of the footage I have here. So yeah, and most of the rest of the footage just isn't very relevant, so you know, that's great. I found out about a brand new invention never before seen: vertical slabs. That's right, there's vertical slabs in Minecraft now, and I decided to use them. I'm still trying to decide if I like it or not, because it adds depth to the build, but it also, they're kind of odd and unnatural looking, and also I crafted like way too many of them, which means I have like 2 stacks left over, I think. And also the back of the texture of them is upside down, which is really off-putting. I also couldn't find the footage of where I added the floor into this base, which is also really inconvenient, because that would have been helpful. After I added the first 2 layers of the vertical slabs, the 3rd layer was really awkward to get right. It was just really not great, because as you can see by this footage here, I keep failing at placing. I even somehow managed to place it on the bed. I don't even know how I managed that. And then, yeah, I eventually managed to get it though. The inside looks a bit odd, but no one's gonna notice that. I mean, who looks at the inside of a base? It's not like that's where most of the time is spent, right? Anyway, then I decided to add a roof, but I made it fancy by adding a slanted roof made of glass. When does the fanciness stop? I think it looks really odd though, but it's cool. All right, trust me, it looks cool. Definitely doesn't look odd, even though I just said it did. Just like ignore that. It looks cool. Okay, the house is cool, and that's why you should subscribe.